CNCCI just had a press briefing where they informed media persons in Dimapur that an executive council meeting was held today with all members of the state, the District Chamber of Commerce and Industry of the state. All of them had an executive council meeting today. And then 3 resolutions were taken up by the organization. And in these 3, they have asked and questioned the government if this taxation taken up by different factions, which numbers to 18, is legal or illegal. And if it is legal, then why the government should not tax them as well. And another resolution they have taken up is about the random checking by unauthorized persons at different shops and locations of Dimapur and other districts as well. This authorization by random people is condemned. The chairman of the CNCCI has asked the government to take action. Another resolution they have taken up is the CNCCI has also questioned the government to answer on who is actually in charge, who is in authority to make sure none of the atrocities is being committed towards the members and as well as the business community. Let's have a look at the press briefing.
Today we had a wide range of issues that was discussed in the Executive Council meeting, which the meeting stretched over a few hours, so we cannot go into details about all the agendas that we discussed. But a few of the agendas that we discussed that we felt that it should be publicly known also. I want to just highlight those issues. Number 1 is on the issue of taxation. As we all know, the factions have been growing over the years. And especially again last 3-4 years, the faction has grown so much that today we have about 18 factions functioning, I think existence of 18 factions in Nagaland. And more or less, almost all the factions are collecting taxes in various forms. Upon that, the worst affected issue is again the multiple taxation by various individual groups. When I'm saying that, for example, a particular faction will tax the transporter which brings my product, again tax in my godown, tax in my sales outlet. So a particular faction tax multiple times. So what happens is 18 factions plus multiple tax, then it becomes too unbearable for the business community to survive. Now the fact is the business community is yet to fully recover from the COVID pandemic. You know, lakhs of rupees have been wasted because of the expiry of goods or the shelf life was no more there. So 2 years shutdown has really hampered the business community. And we are yet to come back from that. On top of that, months and months of at the stretch, the business was closed down. So we are yet to recover from that shock. And not only that, but again, worst thing is that we have seen lots of faction growing. And all of them are taxing, so it has become we have come to a point where we are almost on a verge of a breakdown, the business community, if we keep on going at this pace. Therefore, we had a deliberation at a very lengthy manner, and it was resolved that it has to be streamlined somehow, if at all the market has to exist, if at all the business has to exist. We also, while discussing that, we also took from the angle of new entrepreneurs venturing into business. How will they survive? When the established business establishment is struggling to survive, how will a new venture survive? So it has become a real issue not only with the business community but society at large. You know, young upcoming entrepreneurs at large. So it is going to affect the entire society. So therefore, we have taken certain few hard decisions, which number 1, we have resolved that the state government has to clearly spell out, as demanded previously, which was not answered, that whether this taxation imposed is legal or illegal in the eyes of the state government. If the state government feels that it is illegal, it has to come into publicly stating that it is illegal, and therefore it has to say what measures it is going to take. If it says that it is illegal, then they have to go to and see that the imposition of such taxes are not carried out. But if they say that it is a legal taxation, then the state government has to stop taxing the business community from their side, as well as the central government. So we are here, this is the decision of the Confederation of Nagaland Chamber of Commerce and Industry, not just the Confederation, but the decision of Executive Council, which means the decision of the district chambers of all across Nagaland. So the government has to immediately come out with the response. We expect government to immediately respond us in the public medium. And failing which, I think the business community, this is not a threat, but we are almost on the verge of breakdown, so we have to find a means to survive. And therefore, the government has to seriously take on this issue. Number two is the resolution also discussed that the fact that all the district has a different way of dealing with this taxation. But it has more or less agreed that unless and until the state government comes up with this issue, we will not stay back. Now, while taking this decision, it has come to a conclusion and it has come to an agreement that each and every district will stand together jointly. So when we are saying about district, we are talking about the shopkeeper, the entrepreneur. We are talking about an individual as well. No, unless if any individual is harassed or is been kidnapped or tortured, or for that matter, to any extent, for the taxation, the whole of business community of Nagaland in unison will respond to such atrocities, actions, or forceful collection. So that is one decision we have we have taken. Secondly, in this connection, again, we also say that the multiple taxation has to end somehow. We cannot have 18 faction having multiple taxation, which comes into 30, 40 tax in various 30 multiple by 3 taxes will be more than 40 taxes. So that cannot be sustained. So we are immediately saying that we will not pay such multiple taxation henceforth. That is the resolution of the District Chamber of Commerce. And upon that, the syndicate system, the monopoly system, the license Raj that has been practiced by the various Naga political groups has to stop. Because at the end of the day, the business community also has a family to feed. We have social life. We have business to look after. We have to grow our business. And we cannot always sustain and pay for the luxury of somebody else. So we are not saying that we are not paying tax, but unless these are done away, we will not entertain those kind of taxes. On the other hand, we are also saying that the entire state of Nagaland business community will respond if anything happens to any of the officials of the district chamber, the businessmen, or the Cncci executive. So that is point agenda 1. So the second deliberation and resolution is on the random checking of business establishment by the unauthorized people. You know, everywhere, everybody becomes an authorized person to randomly check the business establishment, which has become a big harassment to business community. Now today, a person goes and then just randomly enters a counter and says that these products are already expired, why are you keeping in the counter? What we are saying is the consumer has right to insist that the material, the products that they buy is not expired. But there are certain systems that functions within business community that you cannot just dispose of your expiry product like that. For example, you have certain products expired. Then the company says that, or the manufacturer says that unless we come and witness it or take a photographic evidence, we will not, compensate it. So what happens is the businessman is forced to keep that product inside the counter or in a godown. Now, there are few individuals or people who just randomly goes and if they see this, they blow the whistle, they make it hala gola saying that they are selling the expired product. Now this is not justified. So we have decided and resolved that an individual, if a person is caught selling an expired good over the counter, the individual has every right to take action on the person who is selling that as per the law, not kushi-mushi. But if a person goes inside the counter and starts checking it, he's going to definitely find an expired product because that is the rule of the company or manufacturer. Now we are saying that, and we are going to write to the government that as district as well as all the administrative headquarters which has a town council has to set up a committee headed by a food safety officer or an administrator with a member from the district chamber, a representative from the civil society, and of course the police. So this committee should be only the authority to check the expiry products inside the counter. If caught, then that's different while selling it, but checking should not be done by individuals or group of people or any association or organization. Because they are not competent, they have to be trained competent for expiry products to be checked. And without being qualified, without having a certificate or degree in food products, a person cannot randomly check and say this is declare it as the contaminated or expired. Therefore, we have resolved that the state has to immediately come up with a committee on all the districts and towns, forming a committee, and if at all the civil society or any individual has grievances that certain shops has to be checked, then the issue should be taken to the notice of that competent committee, and in their witness, the shop should be checked. So that way we can streamline. Otherwise, it has become a daily harassment for business community across Nagaland. And in fact, joking aside, this is also a fact that it has become a source of income for somebody, which we cannot helplessly watch and then entertain. So we are very serious on this. There is a belief that all the businessmen pass the taxation or whatever kharcha, whatever money that he spends to bring his product is being passed on to our customer. But that is not the entire truth. Here, on a perishable items, you may do that because there is no MRP. Okay. So a tomato that is costing rupees 5 in one place, the other person may sell it for 8 rupees. But so that is where again we are asking the government that the Cncci say under Cncci say all the districts and town administration should have one elected representative nominee in the ULBs, so that they are there to give an current update about the pricings of perishable items, to the administration, to the committee to fix the market price. And I think we were close to it, but since the Municipal Act has been scrapped, so I think we have to start afresh. But nevertheless, the urban development has in principle agreed. Now, on the product of products which has an MRP, you know what? Now today consumers are very conscious about what they are buying. They check their expiry date, they check how much the price is labeled. Today, we cannot, as alleged and as accused, that the business community shift all the profits, all the taxation, extra baggage to the customer. It's not true, because if a bottle of this mineral water costs 10 rupees, I cannot sell it for 12 rupees because a customer will not pay me 12 rupees. He knows the price is 10 rupees. Now what happens is, I am, the whole over India it is rupees 10, I'm also selling at rupees 10. What else? I'm paying 40 another taxes. So technically a businessman's profit margin is shrinking. Not everything can be passed on to customer. So we are also struggling. That is where we are saying that unless we are saying we are on the breaking point. Because how much profit that we are supposed to earn has to be passed on to someone. My fellow businessman in Delhi, if he sells this for 10 rupees and earns 5 rupees, here in Dimapur I'm earning 1 rupees. How will I survive? Therefore, we cannot pass on. Therefore, we are saying that the businessman cannot fraud all the customer on all the ranges of products, except for perishable items, and there are few imported products which are not labeled. So this is one thing that I want to dispel to the public also. Again, that this is Pan-Nagaland issue, and the issue is about multiple authority. We are facing a multiple authority in Nagaland. In a sense, we are so confused who is in charge of the authority in Nagaland. Who is the authority? For example, you have 18 factions coming up with the 18 diktats, and then you have a state government having a different policy. Now it has become a big harassment for the business community once again. This issue has to be streamlined, and the state government has to, either they like it or not, they have to answer this uncomfortable question. Who is in charge? For example, the state governments allow, if a state government allows a tobacco to be sold, or for that matter, firecrackers to be sold, and if a particular faction bans it, it becomes a big hassle for a business community. Now I am authorized by the state government, so I procured, let's say, 50 lakhs of firecrackers. Tomorrow there is a ban. Now whom do I follow? I mean, there has to be certain system. So there is multiple authority which it is not at all conducive for as a business environment, to be carried out peacefully, fruitfully. And therefore, the state government has to now come out and say that who is in charge, and then if the state government claims that they are the authority and in charge, then they have to clearly direct all the rest of the authorities who are issuing such instruction in a categorical terms that this is our business, you don't touch into these areas. Itu to kurwoi lagibo, noile to ekdin te ekjon mana aigena itu bon kori dibo, ekjon Sunday closure kori dibo, ekjon pura kholibo parbo kobo, ekjon pura firecracker bikri kobo na parbo, ekjon pura bikri kobo parbo, dosta manu itu nohobo, dosta manu itu. Are there's no system at all. So I think this is one issue that is again confronting all the districts. And we have agreed that the state government has to come out clearly and says that who is in charge, and if they are, then they have to disown all other directives that is in place, and they have to put in place the legal orders that has been put forth by the state government in all the areas that is specifically related to business. So these are the three things we really wanted to highlight with the business, the public as well as the business community.